Michael, 1 2 1 2. All right, and we are live. Hey, and welcome. All right, let me also add this link and go live on Instagram. Exciting. Today it is our 12th session, Amazon PPC AMA session, and I'm super stoked. Let me also have my tea. My throat is kind of sore, so hopefully I'm going to still speak up and answer all your questions. So hey, and welcome. I am Noemi, co-founder of Scalewave. We are an agency specialized in Amazon PPC ads. We're helping brands on selling on Amazon via Amazon PPC ads. And today's session, it is just all about Amazon PPC. And I'm going to answer all your Amazon related questions, especially focusing on PPC. Now, keep in mind, if you have questions that are business related, I'm more than happy to answer them. Everything that is hiring, firing, finding the best talent for your brand, and also maybe if you're going through systematization and you're trying to figure out how to put systems in place and processes for your business, all those questions are more than welcome. Keep in mind that we are still going to make sure that everything is Amazon PPC related. Right now we are streaming on 3 different channels, so if you see me like walking all over and looking at like multiple places, is the reason why. We are streaming right now both on YouTube and Instagram as well as LinkedIn. Let me arrange quickly my blouse. I am streaming right now from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and this session is going to last for 1 full hour. During this session, I'm going to aim to answer all your Amazon PPC related questions. Now, keep in mind, if there's no one specific question in the chat, it might be that it's coming from a different place, like from a different channel. So just bear that in mind. And also, I've been submitted quite a lot of questions, especially for today. I love them, and they are mostly beginner questions. We are going to focus mainly on Amazon related questions, Amazon PPC related questions that are beginner focus. Simple reason for that: 5 years ago when I started Amazon ads, I did not know what to learn. I did not know what not to learn. So I focused on learning everything, and I ended up being a follower. I knew how to follow very nicely step-by-step tutorials on how to do it, but no thought process behind it. So this is why I am aiming with today's session to make it more strategic and more strategy focused than anything else. All right, I'm going to take the very first question. And also keep in mind, whenever you're going to comment something that is totally not related to the channel, or it's like, you're more than free to like comment your thoughts and so on. But if it's not related to the channel, I also am going to be able to put you in timeout. So your comments are not going to be coming through. All right, with that being said, very first question, what's the difference? What's different about running PPC campaigns on Amazon PPC? Okay, so the question is, what's different about running PPC campaigns on Amazon UK compared to the US? Thank you for the question. There's not much difference when it comes down to these two marketplaces. And one might think that just because it is an English-speaking country, they're going to find things the same way. The only difference that I am really seeing is that the way how people are going to express certain things, and that is way more visible when it comes down to downloading your search terms. And if you're selling both on US and on the UK marketplace, or even if you're selling US, UK, and Canadian marketplace, you're going to notice this difference. People are calling the same items in different way. So that would be the only thing that I can think right now, top of mind. Compare these two. What is the difference there? Let me know if that answered the question. All right, the next question is, what are the main reasons Amazon PPC ads stop working or never perform well? Well, let's zoom out just a bit for clarity to understand what could cause it. And why do we assume that Amazon PPC ads would stop working and never perform well? I love to question this because I like to test it, and each campaign that I'm starting, and within the agency, every campaign must have a strategy behind. So once that you're starting a campaign and you're seeing that it's not working the way it's supposed to work, example, if you are going to use the 5 strategies that we're using usually within Scalewave, the protect, conquer, discover, protect, conquer, rank, dominate, and discover campaigns structures, like the strategy behind. If we see that the campaign is not performing for the discover purpose that it was created for. And by discover, what I mean, we want to find new keywords for which we can make sales that we did not even know that we are going to convert for example, right? So if we're going to create a strategy that is a discover strategy and the campaigns do not reflect that the discover strategy was supposed to bring us cheap sales, it's working, then we would look into what is the cause of it. Do we show up in different placements that are way more expensive for us? Do we not bid enough, so we are not showing up at all, so we are not gathering at all campaign information? Or what is the main reason for it? Because keep in mind that right now the question was like ads stop working or never perform well. We have to define what what not working means, and also we have to define what perform well means. Because keep in mind, if we have a strategy that is for ranking, and for ranking, for example, what we are aiming with those type of strategies is to make sure that we're going to bring more organic traffic and also rank higher on the first page of Amazon. And if we are not achieving that ranking purpose, then it means that the strategy behind it was not achieved. So it's not that it's not performing well or it stopped working, but is not aligned within what the purpose and scope was for the campaign. Let me know if that answered the question. All right. When launching a fresh listing with no reviews or sales, do you start with auto broad or exact match? And what is your strategy? Great question. I love it. So it really comes down to 1, how much budget do we have? 2, how many products do we have? And then 3, what is the overall strategy? Keep in mind that there are different brands and different business owners who are advertising on the platform. Right now, we are blessed to focus more on 6 and 7 figure yearly revenue brands that they don't have this problem of I have $30 per day to spend on ads, so I have $1,000 per total budget to spend on Amazon, right? So in that scenario, we are going to not only look at what is the strategy on which ad types are we going to rate, but for this product that is the top performing product, and if they are already maybe selling and now this is a new product launch that we are launching, how can we implement that so it's not going to ruin the current strategy, right? So it's really important because a product launch can visibly ruin the strategy by ruining the strategy. What I mean is that, let's say for overall on a brand level, we want to have a profitability goal. Yet, if we're launching a new product, we are going to have less of a profitability goal for that product, but what we want to get is eyeballs. We want to get as many sales as possible because this is a new product. It has 0 reviews. So what we want to do is gaining more traffic. So we're going to get some evidence, some proof from the market if the product is good, if they like it, if they don't like it, if they like a packaging, if they don't, if they like the taste, smell, whatever, if it's a consumable product. So I would challenge you, instead of what the strategy behind is, to think of it first off, who brand, how much budget do they have realistically for Amazon ads? Because if they have budget, then probably we're going to launch multiple campaigns. We are going to start with sponsored products, sponsored brands, sponsored display ads, and we are going to run them all. Right? So we are going to make sure that we are all over the place and we are covering the whole, the top of funnel, mid of funnel, and also bottom of funnel. So we are going to have that strategy. Now, if you have a $1,000 budget, you are budget limited. So you are going to probably create maybe 2 to 5 campaigns in exact match for keywords that are highly relevant to whatever your product is, and run those. And maybe if you have some additional budget left, you're going to also create maybe 1 auto campaign where you are highly likely going to add all the targets and then generate some data with that campaign. So this is why I'm saying you this is why I'm telling you that it's really important the context that you're bringing, because in different context, I'm going to give you a different answer. If you can provide more feedback on where are you right now, it's a fresh listing, so we already know that, but where are we right now? And what is the budget behind it, as well as what is the overall CPC, because based on that I can give you a most tailored answer. But just as a rule of thumb, whenever it comes down to how we would be thinking of a new product launch, we always look at the overall. What is the brand? Is this a known brand? Is this an unknown brand? Is this their first product? Is their third, fifth, 100th product? And based on that, we're going to strategize. Let me know if that answered. Right. Next question. What is the right way to run automatic PPC campaigns on Amazon? What is the right way to run automatic PPC? See, I love the question. And the question is, what is the right way to run automatic PPC campaigns on Amazon? And why I love the question is because, one, whoever asked the question, they are looking to do it the correct way, and then two, they're assuming that there is a right way. I'm here to tell you and to bust the myths. There is a right way and there's a wrong way, and you probably are doing both of them. And let me again tell you why am I answering this way. It's really important to understand what do you want to achieve, and we're going to step back and zoom out for clarity. So the right way to run automatic campaign, because someone just also referenced to this, what should I be doing? Should I run auto campaigns, exact match, and so on and so forth? My answer to that is that a correct way for you to run an auto campaign would be just start a campaign and leave all the targets in, or just start a campaign and then have them, divided by different targeting groups, or just start a campaign and then that is auto campaign, and then try to see how do AMC audiences work for you. So there's not necessarily a right way. It is, does it fit within the strategy that I have? Because that is going to dictate the right way. Let me know if that answered the question. What is a best practice Amazon PPC campaign actually look like? So the question is, what is a best practice Amazon PPC campaign look like? Best practice. I'm smiling again because best practice is highly dependent on strategy. So for us in Scalewave, when we're creating a campaign from scratch, a best practice would be, first off, know why you created the campaign and what is the strategy behind. If you don't know what the strategy is behind that, it's highly likelihood for it to be properly optimized. And by optimization, I mean increasing bids, decreasing bids, negating things. It's not going to work. So if you're asking me what the best practice is when it comes down to creating a campaign, usually is dependent on a few things. One, if it's a campaign that is a discovery campaign, a right way or a best practice to start a campaign could also mean even that you have 5 products that are different colors and you're going to throw all of them within the same campaign because you don't know exactly which one is working. Also, a best practice whenever you would be starting a campaign that it's for a product that you already have proof that for the out of the 5 variations, the black works best, so let's say, or the white version works best, and you would be dedicating only to that specific color variation most of your budget. Again, it can become a best practice. Usually one of the best practices that I'm advocating for a lot, though, when it comes down to campaign creation, it's whenever you're creating a campaign, each campaign should have only the one ad group, especially if this is sponsored product campaign, because that way you have the most control when it comes down to budget restriction and budget allocation as well. When it comes down to sponsor brand ads, what we're seeing on our end, while there as well, you could create one ad group. What we love to do here in Scalewave, we used to we create just like one campaign and then with one ad group, also for sponsor brands, and then it took a lot of time until it was approved and so on and so forth. So now the best practice is that when we are creating these campaigns, the sponsor brand campaign specifically, and it's a video ad, for example, we would be adding multiple ad groups and the multiple creatives, like different creatives within each ad group, and then we will see where does the spend go. And that is going to become a clear sign or data mining technique that we're using in order for us to discover which are the creatives that are not performing. Really important. We are not looking for the creatives that are performing. We are looking for the creatives that are not performing or not performing as expected, because those are the ones that we would be pausing and maybe test if we have additional budget. Test them in their own campaigns. Let me know if that worked. Let me know if that answered your question. Another question, can async targeting be used as a proxy for ranking on the keywords? Certainly can. The easiest way for you to see this is whenever you're going to type a keyword and they're like other products are coming for that keyword, on the search platform. Sometimes it can also be because they are targeting specific ASINs. So that is a strategy. And the easiest way for you to see this and to create proof for it, because this is how I also found out, and within the team, that's how we found out, is whenever you're going to download your search term reports, you're going to see the exact search terms that generated the sales. And there, what you're going to see, even whenever you are going to target products, customers might type a keyword and you might make a sale with that keyword. So I would highly recommend you that let's step back and not focus only on ranking effect. Let's step back on and focus on what is the most profitable product that I can make money with and take market share from it. Let me know if that answered the question. You look beautiful. Thank you. Appreciate that. Next question. What separates the best performing Amazon PPC ads from average ones? Love the questions. Best campaigns that are average best campaigns, performing campaigns from average ones. I think here again, we have to step back and realize and define what best performing and what average means. I usually don't see as much a flaw with the campaign structure itself, unless really you just dumped everything inside the campaign, you mixed match types, you added 20 ad groups, you don't know what to do next on the campaign, you added placement modifiers where there's no evidence that you should have been adding any. You are playing around with AMC and you're increasing your placement modifier for AMC audience, and all your ads are converting on different placements. So that could be a cause on like worse performance, how I am defining it, because it's not aligned anymore with being clear, clean, and structured when it comes down to your ads. However, when it comes down to best performing Amazon ads, what I'm seeing on my end is comes down to how disciplined you are and how thorough you are when it comes down to, is this campaign still within the strategy that I created it for? Meaning, just because you created a campaign, it's no guarantee that it's going to work. Every campaign, it's a hypothesis. Now that you created the campaign, the hypothesis is going to be that the campaign is going to generate sales at some point, right? And if it's not generating sales, even if it costs you a lot of money, but it's generating 0 sales, then you can look into, is it technically set up correctly? Because if it's not technically set up correctly, and if, let's say, this is an auto campaign and you have loose match, and through loose match goes 80-90% of your spend converting, and maybe you have one order converting at close match at 0.1% ACOS, that is a technical flaw that easily with optimization towards profitability can be fixed. Now, this is why I'm saying that when it comes down to best performing and average performing, it's not as much about what was best and what was worse, rather than you being able to troubleshoot and understand what is going on and how quickly can you notice that and how quickly can you take the action without relying on emotion. This is how I would define it. Not AI cancer. Dexter Morgan. Love it. Would be interesting if you would be really the Dexter Morgan. By the way, there's a new series coming out in October, I think the 2nd season. No, I'm not AI. So next question. Okay, one more question here in the chat from Asif. How much daily budget do you allocate for a new listing launch campaign? When it comes down to daily budget, we are very aware of one, how much money does the brand has in order to actually make sense for them to run campaigns. And then second, we're going to look into what is the cost per click for each of the highly or the highest relevancy keywords that we are aiming to target. Reason for that is because, for example, depending on the category, if you are in kitchen and dining, probably you're going to get away with lower CPCs. So if it's $1 CPC, even $2 CPC, you can afford to get 10 clicks or even 20 clicks for an item that is $40, right? Now, when it comes down to supplements and beauty brands, what we're seeing is that the CPC, the cost per click, is so high that you really have to be dialing in on one keyword, two keywords, three keywords, gather that data, see how it works for you. And if it's really not working, by really not working, I mean, hey man, 30 people clicked on this listing, I'm spending $20 per click and it's not converting and I'm selling a $20 product. That is a clear sign that, hey, you're not converting. Either the keyword is not relevant, either the keyword is too broad, either simply your listing is not competitive enough when it comes down to your competitors. So that is the way how we would be looking into when it comes down to daily budget to allocate for a new listing. And when it comes down to daily budget, passive, because you asked this question, it's really important for us to have a goal of monthly how much are we going to spend. So if we know on a monthly basis we plan to allocate $1,000, $3,000, $10,000, $20,000. Now the brands that we're managing, they're spending more. So I'm just like giving you also like lower numbers so it's realistic. But if that is the goal, $30,000, how am I going to split this $30,000 per day in order to go close to that budget? Or even if things are working really well, maybe expand that budget. That is the way how we are going to prioritize. Instead of how to spend per day, we are thinking how much would we spend per quarter, then per month, then per day. Next question, what are the first things you look at when improving an Amazon PPC campaign? Oh, I love it. So first thing I would look at is this campaign still part of the strategy or not? And especially this is very applicable for brands that we are taking over to manage their ads, because what I'm noticing is most of the time ad managing companies or agencies and managers themselves, they are just going to throw all these ads in and the new campaigns and let's see how it's going to work because that is my work, you know. We don't like to waste data, and if a brand already has proven data for things that work and they don't, and things that don't, first we want to minimize whatever spend they allocate for the things that don't work within their already performing campaigns. So when it comes down to improving campaigns themselves, we are going to look into first try to have as much control as you can over the campaigns that are already running in the account and see and talk to the brand, see what are their goals. Giving you an example, we just recently onboarded someone and they were like, hey, these are the products that I'm selling. Out of these products, I understand that, you know, most of my spend goes towards these, you know, 2-3 items, which usually it happens with more brands that you would know. So they were super aware of that. Okay, these are the products that I should be focusing in, and I understand that. However, right now, my cheapest product is getting most of the sales, and then my ACOS looks really bad because of that, you know. So then it was a strategic decision on refocusing on a product that is more profitable and makes more sense for them, especially since they are not limited by inventory. And then based on that, we focused, okay, so which are all the campaigns that are right now not within the strategy? And keep in mind, especially if you have multiple products or hundreds of SKUs or so on, this is going to be crucial for you to understand that first off, when it comes down to improving an Amazon PPC campaign, that Amazon PPC campaign is just a small dot inside of everything what's going on within your account, right? So what is the strategy? What is the goal for the month or for the quarter, if you can foresee for the quarter? Then based on that goal, how are we going to work backwards in order to achieve our goal on a monthly basis, then on a weekly basis, then on a daily basis? So when it comes down to improving an Amazon PPC campaign, those would be the steps that I would be taking instead of just lower your bids. And I'm saying this from the best place because I was the one who, when I started 5 years ago, I was the one who just, yes, you have to lower the bids and so on. And then I did very bad mistakes because then I didn't get any more impressions and so on. So really have to be careful to zoom out and prioritize what is a priority. Yeah, please feel free to drop your comments in the chat. More than happy to read them. If it's really not related to whatever the topic is, I'm just going to discard my hair. It doesn't look the best today. Okay. So next question. How can you quickly check the status of your Amazon PPC campaigns? I love the questions. They're so beginner and so exactly what I was asking for right now. It's just like, yes, Noemi, that's what you wanted. That's what you got. So the question is, how can you quickly check the status of your Amazon PPC campaigns? What would you like to check? Would you like to check if the campaigns are working, if the campaigns are performing as expected, if the campaigns are, do they still have budget? Easiest way is really just log in within your ad console and then take a look of what is going on the campaign level. And if it checks out as it's supposed to and everything works as it's supposed to, it means the campaign is working. Ooh, love the question. So the question is, what is your process for analyzing your Amazon data, Amazon PPC data, I would say, without getting overwhelmed? So let me just repeat the question because then we're going to cut this out and it makes more sense. What is your process for analyzing Amazon PPC data without getting overwhelmed? I want to really understand where was my spend goes and where does the money comes from, and then how many orders and what is the impact of whatever those two levers are going to trigger. Spend, sales, orders, ACOS. Those are the main metrics that I'm going to look into any campaign that I'm handling and any account. Because if I'm going to touch something that is not spending enough, but it has positive returns, I'm going to focus on something that might not be top priority for the whole strategy. So spend, sales, again, spend, sales, how many orders, and what is our ACOS. If we're calculating ROAS, we're going to go for ROAS. Great question. How do you identify winning keywords and scale them without breaking profitability? We're again going to go to the best place ever, search term reports, and we're going to download those. And based on those search term reports, we're going to see what works, what does not. Really important. Things that are bringing one orders, these are things that you cannot replicate. Hard lesson, hard learned, but now it's learned. Whenever it comes down to top performing keywords, we don't assume that the top performing keyword is a one order bringing keyword. So here in this case, top performing, it can be anything that is higher than 5 orders. So anything that is higher than 5 orders for the last 30 days, we are going to consider, is this a keyword that we should be creating its own strategic exact match campaign, or even phrase match campaign, or even broad match campaign? So should we bring this into an exact match ranking campaign, or should we bring it into a more discovery campaign? But that is going to be my go-to, really. Yeah, hair is real. Just came from the, how do you call it? It's new hair color, so I'm super conscious about it. Let me know, Vasif, if that answered the question. can I pay for Amazon? Next thing. Is it realistic to found Amazon ad spend purely from a... I think your question is, how can I find my ad spend, or is it realistic to find Amazon ad spend purely from PPC generated sales? I'm not quite sure what the question is, but if this is a question, let me answer it the way how I'm understanding. So, is it realistic to find Amazon ad spend purely from PPC generated sales? I think your question is, you got sales generated by Amazon PPC and you're trying to pay for those from your spend, if I understand this correctly. And yes, but the idea is that usually how this goes is that you are going to... So Amazon, the way how they're going to bill you is, first off, you're going to generate sales. And out of those sales, you can pay for your own ads, or what you can do, you also can opt in to have a credit card, and then like you have to pay upfront for those. But yeah, you can do it, of course. Yeah, so we are talking about Amazon PPC. Amazon PPC, it's the topic today. This is a live session. We are streaming from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and people are just asking their Amazon ads related question. Basically, that's what the topic is here, and welcome. How can I find my competitors' PPC keywords on Amazon? Easiest tool for that is going to be Cerebro by Helium 10. It is one of their tools that is within their platform. You can do a Cerebro competitor lookup session, and that way you can see what are your competitors ranking for, which are their best keywords. Really important the way how we are using it, super, super helpful. It's not only for your competitors' keywords, but for which are the keywords that you're ranking for that you are not running ads towards. Because keep in mind that if you are not running ads towards those campaigns, you are like missing out on some really low-hanging fruits. Okay, next question. We are more than halfway through. We are streaming on 3 platforms. We're streaming on Instagram, we're streaming on YouTube, we are streaming on LinkedIn, and also people submitted their questions previously to the chat. So if you don't see people here, that's fine. By the way, if you have questions that are Amazon PPC related or business related, feel free to drop them. If not, it's no obligation session. So, all right. So after how many clicks or how much spend do you move a keyword into negative? There's no strict rule when it comes down how much depends on average order value. But if really it comes down to what are the ways how we are structuring optimization, so after how many clicks would be like, it's not as much as clicks. Is if you have already 10 clicks supposed to bring you a 10% conversion. If you have already 10 clicks and it's still not converting, we are going to lower the bids. And really important, make the difference between clicks, just getting clicks, and then getting negative keywords. Negative keywords, we're not treating them the same way. So if it's something that is totally irrelevant for our product and we're seeing it in the search term, it's going to become a negative with 1 click. Reason for that, if it's not your product and if it's not something that you should be advertising, it is an irrelevant search term that is coming up, and Amazon you should not be paying Amazon to show you for something that your product is not, right? So that's what I am saying, that even if you have it that way, so if it's irrelevant, it's clearly a negative. Doesn't matter how many doesn't matter how many clicks it has or how much spend it has. But if it is relevant, what you would be doing is make sure that, is this a keyword that is just expensive for you? Because what can happen is that it can happen that you have expensive keywords, more expensive keywords that you would have to pay for in order to rank organically, but you're seeing right now only Amazon related data. So, I mean, Amazon ads related data, you're not seeing the whole picture. If you see that you're ranking organically and you're getting more and more sales for that keyword, and technically the way or easiest way for you to see it, either you would track it with third-party software, either you would just type in that keyword in incognito and see that beforehand you were position 50, now you are position 3, on Amazon, which clearly means that your ads are working and you should be targeting those keywords, because even if they might be just a bit more expensive on the ad sides, generally it's going to bring you more sales. Then those keywords are still worthwhile for you. So that's why I'm saying that it's really important to not only like, if 5 clicks do this and so on. We are not AI. We are human beings. We are thinking strategically. That's why we have a like judgment, inside of being a strategist, not just a follower. Let me know if that answered your question. I know exactly what you're asking, and the hard reason why the reason why I'm not giving you a hard answer on if this do that, if that do that, is because that way you are going to learn to just follow instructions. So I'm just trying to teach you the way what was never taught to me. Yes. All right. So next question. Are people just like so mean, or like what today's, I feel that today in the chat, like people are just going rogue. It's cool, no worries, I appreciate it. This is why the session is public, so like throw all the negative thoughts and so on. It's okay. I'm here for the people who are asking Amazon PPC questions, and they're asking really great questions. All right, next question is what makes my campaigns truly effective long-term? Love the question. Truly effective long-term really means you have a clear strategy behind why you created the campaign. Because if you don't have a clear strategy on why the campaign was created, it's not going to be effective and it's not going to be helpful long-term. It's going to give you the impression that you know what you're doing. You just created a campaign, you hope for the best, and it's not working. And the worst case that you can put yourself in is that hoping that you figured it out and hoping that you can replicate success, when in fact you cannot, just because you don't know what broke or what is not working or what needs troubleshooting. So when it comes down to truly effective long-term campaign, truly effective long-term strategy for your ads, when it comes down even to a campaign, I would say, is this campaign within the structure that we originally wanted to create it for? Does it fit still? If it's not fitting, it's like it's not going to be long lasting. It's just going to bring you here some spend and so on, and then you're just like, because you don't know why or when should you be pausing it, because you don't understand the reasoning behind, you're just going to spend money on things that don't work. And again, I'm coming from the mindset that I did these mistakes when I started, and also I dabbled. Last quarter I dabbled into Facebook ads, and here, confession session, right? I also started and I watched a lot of videos, and it was the same journey when I started Amazon ads. Only thing is that I did not stuck with Facebook ads. But what I learned is that if I assume that I'm going to become as good as someone who's been running this type of ads for years and years and years, and that I assume that I'm going to figure it out right away and duplicate the strategy and like I'm going to be good at it, even if I am humble enough to say that I'm still learning when it comes down to Amazon ads after 5+ years, and you're still going to be learning after like years of experience and so on, because that is normal. Kind of it made me thought that just the fact that I'm going to invest even 2-3 weeks in understanding how Facebook ads work, and I figure something out, just because I am good at Amazon ads, I am also going to become the same amount of good at Facebook ads, and that was not the case. So that's why I'm sharing this with you, is because it's really important to understand what is the long-term strategy behind of a campaign that you would be creating, or generally whenever you're creating marketing strategy for a product, it's so important to understand that. And also so important to understand that it's going to take time and effort, and probably the first campaigns that you're creating are not going to work the way you expected, just because you don't have yet the skills to understand them and see it right away. The reason why I'm creating these sessions, by the way, guys, because like there are many people here and they are just asking stuff. The reason why I'm creating these campaigns, the reason why I'm creating these sessions is because I felt the need for content that is strategy related. If I'm sharing everything, if I'm sharing anything in today's session is strategy, how to think rather than execute, and certainly hope that whoever is right now watching is going to get that. All right, so but if you are unenrolled, you're asking brilliant questions. Next question is, what is one PPC mistake you see sellers repeatedly making during product launches? The mistake that they continuously do during product launches is they're going to freak out and panic when data comes in. And by that, what I mean is that either you're not going to either you're not going to check the campaigns quickly enough to see if adjustment needs to be done, either you're going to spend too much on things that don't work. Either way, both stem from impatience and fear and greed. And it's interesting because this is the exact same characteristics that are stemming into everything. Investing, trading, whoever wants to make quickly a buck, they're going to have these feelings, these sentiments. So I think that because you're asking really good questions and I want to be like super helpful regards that. So the mistake that I'm seeing them making repeatedly is they're getting emotional. So it's really important to not get emotional. Keep in mind that we're dealing with millions, we're dealing with ad spend, we're dealing with budgets on a daily basis. So if I become emotional, I'm like, oh my God, this is how much we spent and what's going to say the client, so on and so forth. And if I cannot keep my ground and explain to the client, this is what it's going to take, I am treating still your money as if mine. Because if I mess up, you don't have money to pay me and you are not going to see my value. So that's why I'm treating your money as I would treat mine. And that's why I'm saying that it's really important to step back. This is also why whenever I'm answering, I'm trying to myself step back and not get emotional of the questions, but understand them. I have to zoom out for clarity. So zooming out for clarity is the one thing that is going to allow you, Wasif, to not make these mistakes. Let me know if that answered the question. So I'm going through the chat. Apparently LinkedIn, best question so far. But if you're asking phenomenal questions, throw them my way. We still have 13 minutes to go. What are the most common reasons an Amazon PPC campaign fails? I just answered this question or similar to this one in my previous session. Most common reasons is one, becoming emotional. So if you're becoming emotional when it comes down to the campaign and you're not, by emotional, I mean either you are fearful that something is not working the way it's supposed to, either you're too happy that something works too well, and then you're not going to keep an eye on why it works well and what caused that, or if it's not working well, what is not causing that campaign to work well. Giving you a clear example. So in the situation, if you have a campaign that is not working well and you don't know what is working well, what we're going to do is step back and take out the emotion. Open up the campaign. Let's say it is an auto-match campaign and we just set up a sponsored product automatic targeting campaign and that is not working well. So in this scenario, what I would personally do and my team is doing is they're just open up the campaign, see if you're using all the four ad groups. If you're using all the four ad groups, look at which ad group goes the highest spend towards, and if that is profitable, that is already going to give you the ding ding ding. All right, so if most of my spend goes there and it's profitable, or it's not profitable, that would be your quickest and fastest and easiest lever to just change, right? So this is why I'm saying that first off, take out emotion of the campaign, and then once that you understand that, it's going to be way easier for you to handle it. How does targeting work in Amazon? So product, okay. What's targeting work in Amazon PPC? Okay, so the question is, how does category targeting work in Amazon PPC? Category targeting basically means that you're going to specific not one product, but one specific category or category of products. And what you're doing here, the simplest way, you would go to sponsor product ads, you would create product targeting ad, and then there you can select between categories. Now, keep in mind that right now in 2026, what I'm seeing on my end, not only product targeting, but also keyword targeting campaigns can become category targets. And here, I think the one that we were testing last week or 2 weeks ago is the keywords related to your branded terms and keywords related to your brand. These are two separate things, and these are two separate categories, and Amazon will treat them as category. And then once that you're going to download your search term reports, there you will see the exact terms that were generated. So that is also considered category targeting campaign, and that's something that I would advise you to check out. It's interesting research on our of the what we found and so on. Most of the time, these can become really gold mines and also sometimes flops. So what I would advise here is, if you're going to start and just check out these campaigns, be it as low as possible until you still have impression and still have some data to see how are they going to work generally for the campaign. When it comes down to category targeting, sometimes they can work really well depending on the brand to brand. This is why I'm not saying that, this is the best strategy ever. For some brands, it works really well. For others, it's like, we gathered this sufficient data to understand that it's not going to work. So basically, that's what category targetings ads are, and this is how they would work in Amazon PPC. Oh, great question. Interesting. So how much percentage does search term report help in Amazon ads? If you're not using search term reports, it's going to help you 0%. But if you are using search term reports on I would say weekly, monthly, even quarterly basis, those are going to be super helpful for you. The way how we found them most helpful most of the time, though, it's not the typical way of we're finding the best performing keyword and it's like that is something that's going to work for us. Rather, the best way that we find for search term reports is which are the things that we should be negating, which are the targets that we should be negating, because that is the lever that Amazon still holds. You can target one specific keyword and you can have one specific outcome for it. Either it's profitable, either it's not profitable. But in the end, it's how much money you're not going to allow Amazon to spend on things that you know for sure it's not going to work. So that is why I'm saying that it's going to help tremendously, search term reports, if you're using them. Thank you so much, Freya. You are super kind. Sending back love from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We have 7 more minutes to go. Question is, what is tacos in Amazon PPC and why is it important for FBA sellers? So tacos, it's not an Amazon PPC metric, heads up. Tacos is a metric of total ads, total advertising cost of sales, and that is going to consider both ad spend, so whatever was your profit generated from ads, and also whatever was the profit generated from your organic sales, and that is like a totality of however your ads plus organic sales are working. And the reason why I said that I would not necessarily call it an Amazon PPC metric, I know what you meant. I just want to clarify this because there are also beginners following us, and they're getting this question answered just as you are, even if you understand like how do tacos and why you were asking specifically as Amazon PPC metric. Why is this important for sellers is because what is going to happen whenever you're going to start your ads and you're going to run ads, your tacos is highly likely going to be the same as with your ACAS, because most of your sales or all sales are going to come through towards are going to come via advertising. And that is important for you to know because that is the way how things work. Now, if you have already external traffic or something working for your brand already, and that is bringing additional sales besides your ads, then you're going to see that ads are bringing a certain percentage of your sales, but also additional traffic is going to bring additional sales to you. So then you can have a tacos that is more like the tacos is going to be smaller than your ACAS usually. But let me know if that answers your question. When it comes down to how important it is, it's important. I would say it's most important is going to be return on ad spend. Tacos is important, ACAS is important, but do you make money at the end of the day? Because if you do, and if you're profitable, that's what we're aiming for. If you don't, you can know all the metrics possible and it's not going to help you. And does the brand invest? Okay, so the question is, yeah, so I just got some good feedback there. That does the Amazon influencer help, and does the brand invest them and invest outside of Amazon to get more sales? Yeah, exactly. So that would be the gist of the tacos question. But Amazon influencer, it's a great program. I would say try it. I would also say that there's a lot of people talking about how amazing this is and so on. If you don't have a clear system for it, and this is again in hindsight because I tried out also Amazon Influencer and helped the brands that we are managing with Amazon Influencer, and then it turned out to be, if you don't already have a clear system for it, it's going to take a lot of time. I'm seeing on my end that most time-consuming thing it is that a back and forth. There are a lot of back and forth, so the time that you don't realize that you're going to invest, it's not in the you're paying the influencer to create content for you, but all the back and forth. And usually influencers are not very well organized, or the ones that are very well organized, they are charging more. And what I'm seeing so far is the brands, they want to get, here is your this product, just create a video, and then it's going to be a lot of back and forth when it comes down, okay, how should the video be, and so on and so forth. So I think just because if the systems are figured out for Amazon Influencer, it could be a really, really good way for you to add additional sales. But if it is not, and if it's a newer influencer and so on, honestly, I'm at the stage that I would not invest in this. Yes, ask something. Hopefully it's Amazon PPC related. We have 3 more minutes to go. How can an Amazon PPC audit? Okay, great question. How can an Amazon PPC audit actually improve my business? How can it improve your business? That's a great question. I don't think it can necessarily just improve a business, but what I'm seeing on my end and why we are still continuing giving audits and why we still keep it free audits. First off, it's our value first offer of this is what we're seeing, this is what you could do for your brand, and this is something that is important for your brand based on the your goals that you gave us. I believe an audit should be done always, especially like if you're the brand owner, someone should do an audit to you at least on a weekly basis to see how do you progress. But most importantly, when it comes down to an audit, is the fact that someone from the outside or someone who's trying from the outside to see the brand for what is it and not what you want to wishfully be. The reason why I'm saying this is because most of the brands that we are right now not so much like brand owners who are like it's their own brand, but right now we're more in contact with people who are managing, like we are with we are in contact, or the current clients that we are handling, it's more someone else is managing their ad side and we're helping them, right? And why is that important is because for those type of brands that we're managing, for them it's really going to be important, hey, does this person does a good job or not? But if a brand is self-managed, the brand owner is going to be so dedicated, so involved, so they invested so much time in this and they want to make it work and so on, and they are just like, they kind of want to become the experts in Amazon PPC while they want to hire out the task as well. And don't get me wrong, I believe that you should be knowing exactly when something goes toward the right direction and something is just off. However, what I'm noticing is an audit itself, when it's going to be very helpful is when you're too close to your brand and you want a second opinion on, this is what I'm seeing, what are you seeing on your end, or is it something that I'm missing? Those are the best brands that we're helping, honestly, where they are saying, hey, this is our expertise. What do you see? I'm too close to it. I want to make it work. This is my strategy. How would you make that work? So if you're interested in that, by the way, we also give audits. Feel free to reach out at contact@scalewave.io or check out our website, scalewave.io. I would recommend you to reach out to contact@scalewave.io. And if you need someone to help with, this exactly what I was describing on stepping back and seeing, look, this is what it goes on right now in my ads. How do you see, how could this be improved? That is the most value that someone can give you through an Amazon PPC audit. And it's 2:00. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you so much. And thank you for all the amazing questions. I love to answer these, and especially knowing that I started where you are, most of you, like right at the, I know nothing about Amazon ads. It's such it's a pleasure and a privilege to answer these questions. All right. Thanks a lot. You're most welcome, and thank you for following me on LinkedIn. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. This was an absolute pleasure. If you enjoyed this one, feel free to join me also next week, the same day and same time, because I will be back and answer all your Amazon PPC related questions. Be good, have fun, and enjoy life because it's beautiful. Take care. Bye.